The Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin says that the United States could be open for business in May even. This is going along with the transition that they have been looking at as to how this would happen, what it would look like. And this was Mnuchin saying this yesterday. Listen.
Now, do you think with this, there's a possibility, if the doctors let us, that we could be open for business in the month of May?
I do, Jim. I think as soon as the president feels comfortable with the medical issues, we are making everything necessary that American companies and American workers can be open for business and that they have the liquidity that they need to operate their business in the interim.
There you go. There you go. So that's good news. I think that this is really good news. And the transition period for this, that is what I think that this Economic Council would address. Because, as I've been saying, you can't have medical professionals plot the trajectory of the reopening of America's economy. You can't. You cannot. It's not possible. And so the president it looks as though I think he's going to do something. I think he's going to do it. I'll be interested to see if Mnuchin's with him at the press conference today. So we'll be, and CDC's issuing new guidance saying that essential workers who have been exposed to the Wuhan coronavirus, they can return to work if they're not showing any symptoms in the first step towards reopening the country. So they've been talking about it. They're looking at those individuals who would be least affected, I believe, if there was a secondary wave, and if all of this stuff is still projections. And this brings me to another point that dovetails into this, although it gets into because everyone talks about flattening the curve and the numbers. One of the reasons I don't focus on that so much is because I don't trust what I read. If I don't trust it, I'm not gonna deliver it to you just to fill space. I mean, I could be like other people out there and just regurgitate it. I don't trust it. I'm not going to relay it. And my friend Britt Hume had brought up a very good point, and he was discussing the projections from the data. And I know that some folks over at the Federalist have been covering this in a specific vein, looking at the data and how that linked up with real projected numbers and actual numbers. And we've talked about before last week how there are a number of states where their actual numbers are a lot lower than what was projected. Now, Hume says that the projections from the data, he tweets, the projections from data were wildly off base, but they were the basis for this lockdown. Remember when you hear that social distancing and other measures are why the projections are now being revised down. Key data models assumed full social distancing. And that is true. You had these data models that did assume social distancing. So then that brings up the next question that I have. Okay, so how, if they were over projected? What happened? What happened? Because we're already doing that. We're doing the whole social distancing. We're doing all of that. And we were told that it was going to be worse than it is. So what else could be attributed for it being lower if the original projections incorporated that mitigation effort into it?
That's a good question. Can you scientifically measure what social distancing does? And then doesn't it require you knowing all the social distancing that's going on? Because I don't think that's possible either.
Yeah.
So you can say social distancing, but what does that mean in the equation? How much is that value, and how does it relate?
Yeah, that's what I would love to know. I would really like to know that, and I think a lot of you would as well.